gameplay, it's pretty much the same story overall. So, and once Ffws Sea makes that adjustment, then Graham can pull another page and probably throw off Ffws Sea's game once again. Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. I don't think Buriram really needs to shake things up, because if it ain't broken, why fix it, right? Everything has been working out perfectly for the side of Buriram so far. Backup from both teams, and you've got a three-man rushing squad down on the ground, getting the dirty work done, getting up close and personal to the side of Ffws. And even if Ffws is not coming out of their defenses too early, Buriram's literally taking the fight up to them. And I think this is where that A124, this is where that Homer can do or can play their part, right? Because the moment you disable the active skills on the side of Buriram, it most definitely will slow them down a little bit. And of course, if that A124 doesn't, the Homer is definitely going to slow them down a little bit. So that's what you need. That's what you need, right? Because the moment Buriram's not going to be able to play at their usual pace, I think this is where Ffws should be able to jump out, take a good bit of advantage. But of course, best case scenario is you have Vasya kind of finding his position first to punish the players on the side of Buriram who go out and try to rush the rest of the team members. But that's like best case scenario kind of thing on the side of Ffws, which Buriram kind of will be able to instantly play against in the very following round, because we've seen many teams play that counter strategy up against Buriram. The problem here is Buriram has got so many weapons, so many strategies in their pocket that you do not know which one they're going to pull out there.
Exactly. I mean, like what we talked about earlier. I mean, if they can counter the rush gameplay, there's another one that they can pull out, and the round after the round that might happen. And yeah, the points will just go out alternately at this point. But whoever makes the adjustment quicker will be the winner. And it seems like Buriram United, because they don't need to adjust it, and they can adjust, they can make all those changes that quick. We've seen it in Battle Royale. We've seen it in the early parts of Clash Squad as well. And that's what the pace, or that's the pace that Ffws Sea need to catch up on. But yeah, it still depends. It still depends on how they play it out. If they can play it slow, yes, that would be best for Ffws Sea to counter Buriram United right now. But I was just taking a peek of their skills. And the slow pace, in terms of active skill, is pretty much set up for Buriram United. So I don't know what's the deal right now.
Oh yeah. At the end of the day, there you go. The high fives are coming out. It looks like the next round is about to get locked and loaded. We hope you guys are ready, survivors, because in we go. About to challenge the limits of Ffws. Can they make a comeback? Or will Buriram bring us to the final series potentially after winning this one out quick? They've got a beautiful opportunity here with the airdrop, but it's in open ground once again. Smokes laid out, allowing AimGod to quickly rotate around. Grenade not tagging up. Jonah in full, but AimGod will be able to go in here for the follow-up and quickly reposition, and now this puts him in a great angle up against the rest of the players on the side of Buriram.
Yeah, it looks like a great angle as well, but it's a good thing that the rest of the teams are trying to catch up. There goes the God name coming from AimGod, and I was expecting that AimGod will be falling down that quickly, but for Buriram United, they have backed away. I guess this is what we were talking about. Ffws Sea needs to, I would say, break down the aggression of Buriram United, and Wasana will be shot by Rasia from afar, making him pull back together with Jonah.
And one player out of the equation. This is what we're talking about. Slowly delete player after player from this side of Buriram. And it's a slow and steady sort of a game pace that will guarantee Ffws the victory. Rasia will be able to tag Moshi, and the finisher by Ray on the backstab. MP5 does the number on him, but AimGod fighting two players at the same time. Shield with the Rebel Rush, or the Oscars rush in there, but unfortunately unable to catch his opponent. The patch down. Wasana up against Ray in a 1v1, and Wasana with the clutch out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that is a level 3 MP5 that he was dealing with, but you know how it is. Wasana can play it well, and he was just jumping around, making sure that he will not get any headshots, or he will not be taking any headshots. And there goes Wasana on a 3 spree on that clutch.
I mean, that valiant dash functioning like the Rebel Rush to avoid that engagement, get into position.
So great use of the Oscar overall. But this is the problem here. Put it up now. 4-round victories. All thanks to Wasana. Grenade. Firewall tags up Kochiu. And it looks like it's not going to be enough to stop them. The knock comes on through. Here comes the delete as well. Ray finds Jonah. 2 players down on the ground. He was making big plays.
Yeah, they are making big plays right now. And Moshi almost down. Moshi fell down for the wrong person at this point, and will need to get back up. But the Ray can be brought back. But who's in front of him? It's the one and only Wasana, and he goes down from the hands of Moshi from the other side.
I mean, great play from Moshi, understanding that the pickup was on the way. Wasana was trying to kind of hop towards the very edge of that platform to find the jump shot, but Moshi said, bro, I got it, man. The long-range engagement, as usual. Getting, Santino, but Santino falls down. I don't know whether it was intentional, but now Moshi can reposition down towards that lower platform, if at all needed. Up against Rasia, Wasana looking to rotate around, but not looking to make a mistake, because there is a little bit of a gap here between that glass barricade as well as the corner that he needs to turn to meet Rasia, because Wasana plays that M590. This sort of a distance is not going to favor him at all.
Yeah, and this is one thing that I hate to see. Because all those glass, yes, you can see your opponent, but you won't be able to do anything. And as the circle will be shifting, I guess everyone else will be moving out. And here comes Rasia defending himself, fortifying the placement, the position that he has right now. But damage has been felt. Rasia almost hit. And here goes a takedown from Moshi with a VSK from the other side of the area. And for them United, it's match point.
And Wasana just stole away his AWMY, so unfortunate, bro. Moshi is possibly going to have a double snipe setup after this. The M82B plus that AWM. The AWM could also be given to Jonah. But let's look at this replay once again as Rasia drops down to the ground. And that's the complication, right? Because you are going up against 2 players and you try to reposition up against one. You don't know what the other player is going to do. And they kind of played against him big time.
Now let's see though if they can get back right here, because 5-1, 6-1 is not a place that you want to be. AimGod has been receiving a lot of damage in the early parts of this game, and it's not looking good. He is most of the time the one going down, but I think Wasana is just baiting them in for the opening for the rest of Rilam, and there goes Jonah for the 180 hit with the M590.
And Rasia out of the equation already. Range level MP5 has got the M590 in hand as well. Prowling around, looking for a victim. Again, eyes doing the exact same, but Wasana says, you leave it to me, brother. And he closes game 2, match point converted into victory. A 2-0 in the best of 5 series. Budiram has got 1 more to go to knock Ffws out and put them in an unfortunate position as they take their spot in the grand finals. But it ain't over, Neptune. Till it's truly over, Ffws can still make a phenomenal comeback.
Yeah, let's see though. I mean, looking forward to that. It could have been this round. They made those adjustments, but the execution is not that well. And Brave United still retains the lead that they have. So it's a 2-0 right now on a best of 5 series. And the scoreline, though, the scoreline is what's worrying me for the side of Ffws Divine. Earlier, it was quite close, but now 6-1. You don't want that to happen. The motivation will be lost. The energy from the team will be lost if you are losing out in that scoreline.
Yeah, absolutely right. And, you know, at the end of the day, they took the fight and they finished the fight. Put it up. It was all about how quickly can we get through them so that we can set up the grand finals for ourselves. And it was a perfect sweep of some of those rounds as well, right? Especially that final round, not a single player going down. You know, as clean as a monk's mind. That's how the gameplay was from the side of Put It Up in both the games so far. I don't even know what Ffws can do anymore. They've tried slowing down the pace, they still got punished. They tried wrapping it up, they got punished. There's just nothing that they have found or they have pulled out of the bag that has worked up against Put It Up so far.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tactics that Brave United has prepared already. And we were talking about this in the beginning of this day, wherein Brave United hasn't shown that much because they keep winning their games and they're using the same tactics overall. And even with that, no one can counter Brave United in those games. Imagine when they started playing against GOW they got a 2-0. Against Ffws Sea, another 2-0. And now, well, we're talking about best of 5, so it might look like a 3-0 once again, and the record, the streak, will still be taken by Borneo United.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a clean sheet overall when it comes to the games, right? They have not lost a single game. They may have lost a couple of rounds, even that not too many in their games, but they have not dropped a single game to any squad out there, and I don't think they're looking to start. By which standard, even if Ffws walks away with one game off of Buriram, it's a big win. And that's just purely based on the fact of how they have been absolutely dominated thus far in the first two games. I did not expect this. I expected it to be way closer than this.
Yeah, I mean, probably, I'm not quite sure though. I still couldn't tell what Ffws Sea is waiting for, if they are waiting for something. Is it delay? They have plenty of time to recover, actually, every time they go in, when we go in a technical pause. So, yes, they managed to win that round, but the moment we get back, it's just as if that their momentum has been broken, and Borneo United, like, it's just like a few changes that they need to do, and they can get back in taking all those points and grabbing all those round points or game points. So it's just tough to tell what can go against Borneo United, because not so much is showing up for the rest.
Absolutely, man. And of course, don't forget, guys, you can join the conversation here at the Free Fire Esports official channel on YouTube. Hop on into the comment section and tell us exactly what you think of the performance of Buriram as well as Ffws in this game at Nextera. It was even more blissful than the first match. It was even faster than the first match. And this guy, the MVP, the one who can finally play on the M590. It took him a while. There was a little bit of a hitch there with the learning curve initially, but Wasana, the Super Slayer, is back, baby. Especially with the Zayn and the M590 up close, in your face, getting those eliminations. He walks away. 8 elims, 8 knockdowns, 3,193 on the damage. He was definitely flying around out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's flying around, Zayn plus Antonio Gangster Spirit. I mean, he is just rushing in as well, even if he doesn't have the active skill built for a quick rush. As long as he's buffed up, he can put in the numbers. But speaking of numbers, it is Moshi who showed up at this point. 9 elimination, 5 assists, but in terms of damage, it was just Wasana starting it off all through that.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's just a little bit of a hitch here. I'm hoping that Ffws is trying to sucker in Buriram United Esports, making them think that this is way too easy, and then they're going to pop off in the next matchup and make a phenomenal comeback. Oh man, what a head-to-head here. The Bomber versus Russia, Jonah versus Kochil, and it looks like on each and every single stat, except assist where he equalizes with Jonah, it's a one-sided one, just like that match we saw.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's tough, really. And, well, they only got a 1 win out of the 7th game, so it's real difficult to match them on a head-to-head. There's not so much a result coming in for the losing side. But as we look even on the sniper battle, Moshi and Rasia, so it's a 9-2 in terms of elimination. Damage, yes, I would say it's quite close. AWM damage, that's where it's also very close between these two. But if they depend so much on Rasia at this point against Ffws Sea, might be needing the same fate for later. So let's see if they can change that, and the rest of the team, the rusher, the support, their bomber, can do those adjustments so that Russia will not be carrying them all throughout the games.
Yeah, once again, Uncle Moshi winning it out up against Russia, the Wonder Kid. Kind of feels funny calling. And what's up with Moshi's hairstyle, bro? I mean, this guy, season after season, he comes up with something new. At one point, it was blue hair, but I think that's what brought him the most luck, right? Okay, because when Moshi had the blue hair, right, he was unstoppable. He was uncontrollable. But unfortunately, he's still uncontrollable for the side of Ffws even in this game. So I don't know. Maybe it's not the hair.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen esports player really change it up. I think it's somewhat BBC related. Like they go in different level of mode every time their hair change color. So let's see though if that is something that they can relate. But right now, I think it's more of an innocent factor that Moshi is going with right now. Like he does look younger, so I guess it does hurt him when we call him an uncle. But against Rasia, he definitely is. The age gap and experience, I would say, is also that huge.
If the age gap makes him an uncle, does it make you a grandpa?
Well, hopefully not. I have daughters. I don't want to hear that yet. Not yet.
Truly noted.
Older uncle is a good man.
Yeah, man. You know, once again, when we take a flashback to that first game between Buriram and Ffws, there was no patience, just pure aggression out of Buriram, and it worked. It worked like a charm. In game 2, I begged Ffws to slow it down. They slowed it down. Did it make a difference? It didn't. In fact, it was a 6-1 scoreline. A little bit worse. So I'm sorry, Ffws. Maybe you guys want to wrap it up this time. And dude, actually on that note, nephew, we haven't actually seen Rasya join the fight. Maybe he needs to abandon his flanking position and just join the fight in a 4-man rushing squad and take the battle straight to Buriram and pull one game back.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. That's what we have been waiting for, because that's how they got into grand finals. The moment we realized that what the position he's taking is not working, and then that's when he joined the fight. Not quite sure what triggered, not quite sure if it's something that I would say they can do specifically for all the maps, but hopefully they can work it out, because we saw the potential of Rasia getting up close and personal on those clutches, and I'm pretty sure if he joins the fray, if they can pull in the Steffi on them, then probably I guess that's the only worry that they have. If they don't have the Steffi, they cannot regroup and go in for a flank altogether.
Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, Buriram's just going to look to end this quick, because they know they want to play 2 series today. And the next one is going to be quite the long one in a best of 7. So it looks like Buriram is just trying to make this one quick and snappy. I would love to see if they can be dragged on a little bit here by Ffws, but at the same time, I would love to see a quick game for Buriram as well, just to kind of set the tone, just to make sure they show everybody out there exactly who's boss as they head on into the grand finals. And on that same very sentence, I would love to see Ffws make a phenomenal comeback. I think that would be equally, if not a little bit more exciting.
Exactly. I mean, down by 2, and then you make that comeback, go against Buriram United, despite of like how strong they are right now. He did mention their record when it comes to Clash Squad, so I guess there's potential for them to really go in and fight back. But I'm not quite sure if it's something that Ffws Sea can pull off right now. A lot of talks is happening. I guess this is really needed. It is. I have no idea on what else they can bring out, but we haven't seen them stick together in all those rotations, so it might be too late, but if that works, then so be it.
Yeah, man. And you can see the coaches are out. They're just trying to tell the players, look boys, we think they're going to make a little bit of comeback here, so crush them before they even stand a chance for it. United Esports in this best of 5 is leading with 2 games to their side, which means in this next match, if they get the victory, they send Ffws Divine packing, and they will head on into the grand finals.
See though, I mean, our map right now is done with 2, one Purgatory, second was Nextera, now we're heading in to Bermuda, and well, let's see if there will be any changes. We know that this map has a lot of, I would say a lot of area when it comes to Clash Squad mode, so if this is something that they can probably take advantage, or this is something that they have been waiting for, then hopefully Ffws Sea can pull it through. But Santino has been banned, and A124 on the other side. So, so I guess they're not giving any chance for Rasia to use that.
Yeah, man. And A124 Santino out of the equation. yes, you don't allow the Santino to be brought in here, and Moshi is not going to be too concerned at all, right? Because there is still a potential they rip away the Iris, so Burirang United Esports don't really need to sweat much. Steffi brought in by Wasana, and this is understandable because most of the time, this man, this crazy Russia, is heading straight for that airdrop, looking for the site. So he's looking for the disrespect very early on. But look at this, Ffws Divine. Coach Shield bringing in the Iris? What is going on here? A little bit of a change in pace and maybe roll out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is, we were expecting, or we were asking that Russia joins the fray. So probably a switch up can help them. So Coach Hill will be their sniper, and then Russia will join the rotation. But on the other side, we have Jonah with that Zane, and then Moshi with that Blusa. Not so much that he can pick literally because Santino and Iris is out. But back to Ffws Divine, we have Cassie and Skylar for Cassie for Russia and Skylar for Ray. I'm quite confused right now, AJ.
No, I'm not confused, brother. I can very clearly see what Ffws Divine is doing. They're actually going to be splitting up their forces into two sides. You're going to have your rushes in Koda and Cassie. Abe got Russia up close and personal. Skylar and Iris from afar. So this time they're sending out the Wonder Kid to be the rusher. And this is do or die sort of a strategy out of Ffws Divine. They're already on their final game. They're already on their final leg. So if you don't go out on this stretch to confuse your opponents, maybe you are going to be sent packing home anyway. Out on a limb here, Ffws Divine, I'm very curious to see exactly what kind of confusion they're going to be throwing over at Burirang United Esports. And of course, you know, when a Pokemon gets confused, it's going to hit itself. maybe that's what Burirang needs here at this point of time. Zane Clue, you've got the Ignis as well on the side of Burirang. Very sort of a standard setup here as the rushing squad of Burirang, looking for a very aggressive play. And I just realized Moshi has done his hair up in a very different way. Did he straighten his hair?
I don't know. I mean, it like from what we've seen in the past, like he has it curled, but now like it is just. What it reminds me is Manny Pacquiao. I'm not sure if you know Manny Pacquiao. That's the usual hair of Manny Pacquiao. So that was like what. And that was a long time ago. On my high school days, that's what I went. So it seems like he's going for a young look at this point. Even shaved, I would say.
Exactly right. He is going in here for a very different look. Maybe new look, new me, and I'm about to be champion again, baby. This time in Clash Squad. I mean, the man's sleepy. He's waiting for it, but dude, Moshi looks like a different person. Who is that? Give me Moshi back.
It does look like a different person, but I mean, performance-wise, it seems like he's still the same. No one has beat that well in terms of the sniper battle. He hasn't been beat just yet by Russia at this point, but I think with this change that is being done by Ffws Divine, it will be a shocker, I would say. Let's see if the Brumon will be confused and hit themselves, or they wouldn't know what to do because they are reading it similar to how you read all the active skill and position that will be taken by the team.
I am just utterly confused, just like you, about the active skills pulled here by Ffws. Yes, I wanted Russia to be the rusher, but I'm not so sure about splitting up the squad and still having the snipers kind of drop back. You've got that Iris working on their side. I wanted a format rushing squad out of Ffws. I wanted them to get super spicy with this gameplay, but instead they're still going to go with a very balanced fight. And you're going to have someone trying to do the role of Russia, and Russia is the best at that sniping role on the side of Ffws. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan if they actually swap roles. I'm a bigger fan if they all get together and just try to do Burirang dirty in this game. So I'm very curious to see how this first round is going to go now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm curious as well. This is a setup that we rarely see, even in Clash Squad. We rarely see Skylar being used in Clash Squad, despite of, it's ideal, because of a lot of blue walls being put in, and there's a huge chance you can break I would say the pickup as well as the heel, if in case you use that Riptide Rhythm, but you need to go for a good setup. You need to put in a good setup before you pull it off. So let's see though. We have two for the Vision, Coda and Iris. We have Azzy on Razia's side, which is questionable, and Ray on the Skylar. So let's see though. The aggression though might still be brought in by Brave United with that Steffi that is similar to what we've seen on game number 1, and then Jonah will be putting in that same clue for that information and then Ignis for that cover. So I'm pretty sure Brave United wants to end it even quicker. Probably wants to do a 6-0 in this game.
I'm nervous. I'm very, very nervous, right? Because I think putting up is preparing for a all-out four-man rushing squad up against the bases of EVOS, and EVOS is honestly, I don't know what is EVOS going to do. But they are definitely keeping us guessing. I like that. If this was a bait to just confuse the opponents, they sure as hell are going to be very successful at it. Even we are confused as to what's up with this active skills lineup here on the side of EVOS. There's no way they're throwing the game. Who would do that? They played for $30,000 if they become champions, and they're just one step away from the grand final. So this is definitely a strategy that I think we need to take seriously from the side of EVOS. Execution-wise, I don't know what you're gonna do, bro.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm still a big question mark. A big question mark is hanging on my head right now, and I don't know what Evo Divine is going to pull off. Probably because of all the discussion that we've seen earlier in the player camp. That's one thing. Probably the secret weapon that they have been preparing for this. So they really need it. They really need a change, but it could have been done a little bit early. And we might be confused a little bit early as well.
Yeah, we may have been confused a tad bit earlier. And I'm just going to read a comment out of our YouTube chat here, and that's the benefit of you being in our YouTube chat. So hop on over to our official esports channel on YouTube and join us in the comment section. Like he says, to confuse your opponents, you must first confuse yourself. And that sounds very Yoda-ish, but not in the exact way Yoda would say it. But I do agree. I don't know if or not this is a confused version of EVOS. Whether maybe our production team got the graphics wrong. I don't know. Maybe we have to wait to see exactly what happens in this matchup. But I like it. I like them shaking things up. If it's the case of them just going wild out here on this game, I would love to see them do it, right? Because, as much as we kind of talk about them swapping roles or whatsoever, I think EVOS is a Swiss Army knife. At the end of the day, they can play with any weapons out there. Not just EVOS, a majority of the pro teams here in Southeast Asia, they are all Swiss Army knives in their own respective teams. They should be able to just very quickly swap out roles, but how effective they're going to be in these roles, and how effective is this play going to be, because it's not something that you see every day. So this is like go big or go home sort of a lineup here on deck.
Exactly. And let's see how big of an impact this will be in the game. I mean, a lot of confusion, even the fans out there, I guess they don't know what to expect. So that is what makes it more exciting. But if this is something that they can pull off, I will expect there's a lot more just like this. Well, not just like this, but a different setup that can be used on, I would say, on a different, probably grand finals, if they can pull this off, or other teams pulling this later on, or the battle of the Falcon and WAG. So I'm not sure if this is something that they have put in this book, because even I will not be putting it at this point, knowing that we have one specific sniper who is quite well and will be letting go of his run. We have one specific sniper.
Razia's going to play the Cassie. He's going to provide the electrodes. Did they fight? And then did they go like, I can play Cassie better than you? Give me Cassie. I don't know. I'm legitimately confused, right? So Razia on the Cassie, Gray on the Skyline, which is okay. Cochil on Iris is okay. But you're going to have a potential... Okay, so it's not necessary that Gray is the sniper of the squad, right? You can still play the Skylar and not snipe, right? Close and press, just to demolish the blue ball. But Cochil's definitely the sniper. Okay, you cannot play Iris and not be the sniper. So this is not what I want. going to be on the back line. And he's subbing in Russia to be on the front line, rushing together with the squad, pumping up either Ray or Kane Corner with an electrotherapy. I've got my questions, man. But I know this for sure. Whether as a sniper or a backup support player, Russia is still going to shine.
Yeah, he is going to shine. We've seen it earlier. I mean, that clutch definitely. That surprised me in the early part. You don't expect a clutch like that in the early part of a game. You don't expect that in the early